Good evening, folks. This is Bill Breeden. Welcome to Constellation Tour number 62. Tonight we're going to talk about the constellation Circinus, or the compass, located in the southern celestial hemisphere. Circinus is best viewed between May and July, so we have Stellarium here set up for July the 24th with a 60-degree true field of view to simulate what you see with the unaided eye. We're also observing from Buenos Aires, Argentina, as Circinus is a far southern constellation. Even viewing from French Guiana put this constellation right on the horizon, so we had to go a little farther south. So let's see how we go about finding Circinus. We're looking south, and you want to look for the Southern Cross, which is right here, Crux. You also want to look for these two bright stars here as a signpost. That's Alpha and Beta Centauri. And if you look up a little bit higher, just above and to the left of Alpha Centauri, you will see these three stars here in a triangle shape. That's Triangulum Australe. And we've been over that constellation in a previous tour. So right between Alpha Centauri and this triangle, you will see pretty much a little gap here between them. That is the constellation Circinus, or the compass. So let's have a look at the constellation lines. And you'll see the compass here is wedged between Centaurus and Triangulum Australe. Let's have a look at the mythical figures. And you'll see that Circinus is depicted as a small compass. A lot of southern constellations were named after tools and machines, as it was kind of the era of discovery and invention. So these devices were immortalized in the southern sky. Pretty cool. So there are no Messier objects within the constellation of Circinus, but there is a double star. So let's venture to a darker site. And let's go over finding it again. We're looking south. Look for the Southern Cross here, or Crux. Look for Alpha and Beta Centauri. Look up a little higher and look for this triangle here. That's Triangulum Australe. And then the compass here is right between Alpha Centauri and the triangle. So you've got this star here and these two, which make up the compass. Let's have a look at the constellation boundaries. And you'll see that here Alpha Centauri is pretty much right on the border of Centaurus and Circinus. So Circinus is this area of sky right here within this border. And we're going to look for a double star, Alpha Circini. So let's do a search. And you'll see that Alpha Circini is a third magnitude double star located 54 light years from Earth. So let's have a look through the finder. And at this magnification, Stellarium doesn't appear to split it. Well, this is really a nice field of view here. You've got some really neat star patterns here. Let's see if this one splits manually. So Stellarium has it listed as a double star and a variable star, although it doesn't show it as a double when you zoom in on it, unless it's one of these other stars that are farther from it, but I don't think so. It's not named Alpha 1 Circinus. If it was, I would think that maybe one of these would be alpha 2. But apparently it's a very tight double. It shows here with a separation of 15 arc seconds. So you might be able to split it with a higher power eyepiece. Although you do get another star here in the same field. There's several of them. Yeah, you go with a really lower power eyepiece, such as a 40mm Plossl. You get a lot of stars in the field. So I have no deep sky objects listed on my list. Let's see if we use Stellarium as a star chart. So let's do that. Let's convert our planetarium software here to a star chart. Let's show our constellations and boundaries. Zoom in a little bit on Circinus. And let's go to deep sky objects and turn them on. Let's move this out of our way a little bit. This is how I use Stellarium as a star chart. And we start to get a few. Yeah, okay, we've got a couple of NGC open clusters. There's an open cluster here, and it looks like a planetary nebula. So now that we have some objects of interest, let's check them out. NGC 5715 is a 10th magnitude open star cluster and may not have an image in Stellarium. There is no image in the program, but it at least shows you where it is, and it does show an icon for it. This open cluster doesn't show a distance either, so we don't have much information about it here. Let's try the Planetary Nebula. Here we go. NGC 5315 is a 10th magnitude planetary nebula. And it looks like there is an image of this in Stellarium. So let's put a little power on it. Looks like that's going to take some serious power here. Let's zoom in on it manually. There we go. Yeah, that would take some high power. I even put a 9mm on it, and it was barely visible. Here you go. With a 9mm, you see a field star here, and the nebula is actually smaller than its icon. So that's pretty small. And Stellarium doesn't have a distance plotted. So to return to normal, I turn that off. Turn off the constellation names, and we return to planetarium mode. So as I have no other objects listed here, this concludes my tour of Circinus, the compass. Good night and good seeing.